Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the CyberGamer Advanced Warfare ASTRO Championship Series CGP League match between True Ambition and Plantronics.Mindfreak. I'm Myksta, joined by Inmaniac, and this is one of our two matches for the night, both featuring Mindfreak, starting off with Hardpoint Solar. Inmaniac, how are you thinking this match is going to go down?
Well, look, we just had the Asia Pacific Regional Final last weekend where we saw Mindfreak take out the 5th place finishers of last year's Call of Duty World Champs T1 in a 6-0 fashion, Mike. These other guys, on the other hand, haven't really seen too much of them at the highest level of competition. So I'm feeling it's going to be Mindfreak's way, but with that said, it's going to be very interesting to see how this series plays out.
And I mean, you mentioned about being in the high-level competition playing field. However, these teams are in CGP. They're onto our highest level of competition. So they're here for a reason, and we're seeing how they're exactly going to be doing that and facing up against a team like Mindfreak by just getting that kill domination, trying to just hold off over onto this into this pool hardpoint. And you actually do see H22OK being able to pull out that shield, was able to stay alive for a little bit longer, but eventually did get taken down. But you do notice the overall scoreboard. It's 12 points to 6. It's still has been contested for the majority of this hardpoint, and there's only 6 seconds left until it rotates over to that B straight. Now, Maniac, I don't know about you, but I really expected a little bit more of a stronger start or a stronger controlled start from either of these two teams.
I really did expect a stronger start as well, and if I could just point out, Lakey going 6-3 and a strong start from H220, going 5-2 in the KDs, just outslaying Mindfreak there. We always know in Hardpoint that the first hill is always very scrappy, and it's the next rotation that really tells how the rest of the game will play out. And we saw Mindfreak, they rotated perfectly. You saw Denz and Shocks both in good positions. Denz was taken down, but Shocks still in a nice position here, just on the corner, racking up these points relatively uncontested. He's going to be jumping out with that ASM-1. He gets the tags on. Buzzer is going to clean up H220. Shocks now jumping out. Easy kill there to take down Carnage. Lakey going to get some swift revenge here. And finally, it's going to be shifting hands over to the guys from True Ambition, but with 42-19 on your scoreboard right now, Mindfreak got what they needed out of this hardpoint. And as you can see here, Mike, I just wanted to point something out. Mindfreak are still contesting that hill, or at least they were in those final 10 seconds of the hill, and it really shows the difference between what we saw in last night's ODC, Mike, on that retreat hardpoint. We saw those guys giving up hills very, very early, but if Mindfreak at the level that they are in competition still challenge when there's only 10-12 seconds left in a hardpoint, I think it's really a lesson to be learned for these lower teams.
With the fast nature of Advanced Warfare, you're able to travel across the map much quicker than you could in the previous Call of Duty. So for something at 12 seconds, say in Black Ops 2 with Hardpoint, you wouldn't be contesting, you'd be setting up because of the time needed to rotate over. With Advanced Warfare, you can dash across the map with that exosuit and that double jump, so you can really just afford to be able to contest there. As I say, that Shocks just annihilating there on our screens as he was able to take down not 2 but 3 players from the True Ambition side. Now you do see with only 10 seconds remaining, they're going to be now rotating over. One player is still going to be there left to be able to get that garbage time over onto the factory side. Of course, not going to be contested. That's going to be Denz. And they were trying to push on forward to this car park side as well. Now, 3 players from the team of Mindfreak did go ahead to try and contest that one. And only 1 player is left up for the current time. The rest are now coming off the respawn. And you do see Buzzin also fall. Being contested for a moment is going to be Lakey taking down Shocks. And Denz is going to be looking to compete here, to contest over here onto this car park as well. Now, we'll be able to pick off 1 kill on the bottom. And Panels will contest for a second one. I just wanted to point out, this is a Western Australian host, so for once, Denz actually has an even connection playing field to his opposition.
Yeah, you know, that's pretty rare for him, so surely he'll be loving it. 12 for 10, really expecting him to go a little bit better, probably along the lines of Shocks, who's currently going 18 for 9. He's on that 3-point streak as well. He's actually been going really huge for his team in this one, Mike. And I just wanted to point out, with this hill in the car park, these guys from True Ambition actually did really well. You've got your scoreboard now 105-51, but I really didn't feel that reflects the work that TA put in to holding this car park. They rotated very nicely. They were in a position early on. Mindfreak did a nice rotation as well. They were a little bit behind. Of course, they were holding the scrap points down in that factory hard point, but they got up there, and TA held them off really well for at least half of that time. It was just unfortunate for them that Mindfreak eventually outslayed them, were able to hold it, and now it's all up to this next hardpoint down in the purple hardpoint here in the bottom left side of your map. But as you can see by your mini-map, the guys from Mindfreak were set up very nicely, but there's a beautiful flank right now coming from Crib as he picks up the huge, not only 2, but 3 piece there.
Yeah, and you're going to be seeing the kill feed just lighting on up here as Hunter will be able to pick up a kill there over to that mid side. That was taking down Buzzin. Now it looks for a second, but it'll get shot out from the top panels there by Dent. Shox will take down Lakey, and Kriv will be still here on this A Street trying to defend this hard point. Now he'll get pushed and he'll get taken down, but the entire Mindfreak team got taken down in the process as well. Now there is a couple of players up and you see them being there to try and contest this hard point, but it is going to be the team of True Ambition who are there and are ready to rock and roll here over onto this hard point. Now it is going to be Hunter who is going to be there on that top panel. He's going to get naded. He's trying to get shots on there on Fighter, but he's now contesting this A Street, and unfortunately it wasn't really the best of moves that he could make. Even though he had limited options, he went straight into their gunfight and he did get taken down. But you notice one clear thing out of that A Street hardpoint, that it was completely True Ambitions. They're able to catch up a little bit more on that scoreboard, and the overall score count is going to become 134 points to 82. But you got to keep in mind that once again, True Ambition off this rotation, it's reset back over onto this pool, and they're still going forward with this majority control so far.
Yeah, they are. And I'm just seeing, I was on board with Dens for most of that. He got up to the 5-point streak before he was eventually shut down. Just with Kriv as he was challenged and taken down. I'm going to jump over to shots from the Mindfreak squad as he's also taken down. Now back to Carnage, who just picked up the big two-piece for this squad of True Ambition. He's currently being contested 94 to 142 with just over 4 minutes left. Mike, I did expect Mindfreak to walk away with this one a little bit more, and it just shows the class of this True Ambition squad, able to keep up with them thus far.
I mean, you do have now the hard point rotating over onto the B Street. It will be Shox getting taken down there by Kriv. Dens, Buzzin, and Carnage all pick up kills for the respective teams. I'm on board with Buzzin as he's trying to get a couple of shots out with the IMR. He's getting no tags whatsoever, and he will get taken down in the end. Now, you're going to be having, of course, Shox and Fight are going to be controlling this hard point. Shox does get tags before he gets taken down, of course, with that hip fire. Now, Kriv will take down Dens. Buzzin will take down Kriv, and Carnage will also fall there by Fighter, but Hunter will take him down, and this kill feed is lighting up. That's really showing the contention here over onto this B Street hardpoint. The Exo Shields are coming out as well, and he will save Hunter's life, I do believe it was, but Carnage is now going to be there to try and contest it. Once again, though, we do see Mindfreak in control of this hardpoint. Shox going to be the last one up for a moment. Players contesting through glass. He'll take him down as well. Shox with the double kill. Now, there's 12 seconds remaining. He is perfectly timing where these players would spawn to go ahead and pick off these kills. They're able to take down one, and his team is now able to go ahead and set up at that back factory for that next hardpoint.
Dox is a beast there. He is going to work with that SMG. I couldn't believe how well he cleared that out. I'm still following. He just took down one, tags out, takes down another one. That's Lakey and H220 both taking a nap right there. He's on a 5-point streak once again. He's just got his 30 bomb to catch up with Dens there. He's got a much more impressive KD though right now. He also has 7 caps to his name, just like Dens. So Dens and Shox really going to town on this True Ambition squad, and he's still going. He got up to the 6-point streak there before he was finally shut down by this True Ambition squad. It's really been Dens and Shox here who've really been carrying this team to this over 100 point this 100 point lead right now, 216 to 101 as we're back here in the factory. Mike, they've been going to work, and these guys have been the real enablers for this squad.
You mentioned a couple of minutes ago that you thought Mindfreak will be having a little bit more of a lead. Now I ask you, is this enough of a lead to satisfy what you were expecting?
This is exactly what I expected. You know, we always talked about the jitters in the first hard point, and I guess these guys just took a few more rotations to really work off those jitters and warm up a little bit getting into this series. I mean, 230 to 107 is exactly what I expected, Mike. Not to take anything away from True Ambition, like their squad, you can tell right now, have been playing really well. Carnage, his KD's almost even with 11 caps to his name. He's been going really huge for his squad, and you know, they still might come back, not necessarily in this game. In fact, it's going to be impossible for them to come back at this stage with a minute 24 left. But still, with that said, they could come back in our next game.
I guess one thing that they're going to really be looking for is to stop Mindfreak from being able to hit that score limit, even though there's not enough time remaining for them to catch back up. Being able to hit that 250 point mark, I mean, it makes a big difference rather than, even if it's a one-sided scoreline, then actually being able to, you know, to not hit that one and just let the time run out. So it's a little bit of a momentum factor as well, if you think about it, leading up into that search and destroy. Either way, it is 244 points to 128 and counting. Now, Hardpoint has rotated to its last location, or about to rotate to its last location over onto the A Street. Now going to be contested, but it is going to be Fighter and Shox in there to get those final few seconds that they needed. Fighter nearly netting himself to end this this game up, but the game's not over yet. One more second, and we're not going to get it just yet. There we go. Took a while.
We got there in the end. I knew with just over a minute left, there was only 6 points left for them to get. Too easy for Mindfreak. So in the end, 250 to 133. Just to look back on that game, Mike. In the end, Mindfreak got in their, almost trademark swing of things, their decimating style to take down True AmBiTiON there. I mean, their rotation started setting up perfectly. They're a little bit scrappy in the beginning. Who knows if it's just a little bit of a warm-up they needed. We don't know if they've been playing all day or not compared to this True AmBiTiON squad. Maybe they'll just adjust into the Perth host. Really, it could have been anything, but in the end, we saw them coming back in a very dominant style. Den's there dropping the 40 bomb for 26 with the 1.54 ratio. Ratio-wise, not as good as Shocks, though. 38 for 23 with 1.65. Also, the extra cap and extra defend for his name. Going huge. 5 to 13 caps to his name. And Buzzo on even money as well. Going absolutely huge altogether. But on the other side of the scoreboard, we do, of course, see Carnage there with 11 caps, 9 and then 3 and 2, respectively, to the rest of his squad. Scoreboard says another story that it was very one-sided to Mindfreak, but still credit to True AmBiTiON for putting up the numbers that they did.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a definitely an interesting beginning start to that map. It was definitely very, very close, and then Mindfreak were just able to pull out with a little bit of lead. That then turned into a bigger and bigger and bigger lead. They were able to hit that 250-point mark and, take that game out to only the 133 points, as you mentioned, for the team of True AmBiTiON. But we've got our Search and Destroy coming up next for Map 2 in our Best of 5 series. Of course, our first match here in our double Mindfreak header here in our CGP League. So don't go anywhere because we've got Map 2, Search and Destroy, and I believe Recovery coming up next. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the CyberGamer Advanced Warfare ASTRO Championship Series CGP League match between Plantronics.Mindfreak and True AmBiTiON. Currently, Mindfreak have the lead 1-0 in the series. We've got Search and Destroy Recovery coming up next, though. Can True AmBiTiON take a map to tie up the series, or Mindfreak just can secure another convincing victory? I guess we'll just have to find out. Inmaniac, what are your thoughts leading into this match?
Well, obviously, it was a pretty one-sided match there in the hard point on solo we just saw, so it's going to be interesting to see how they go on the no-respawn game type. We're going to be seeing the guys from Mindfreak on the attack to start things off. Fighter has the bomb in hand. He's going straight towards this A-bomb. He's just behind the A-truck at the moment, just watching that cut there with his SMG out. Playing it really slow at the start of this one, actually, Mike. Yeah,
just a little bit, and you're going to be actually seeing him trying to go for these nades with those frag grenades to try and get a couple of early picks, or at least a couple of tags to know where the opposition players are. Now, he's going to be going for this bomb plant. No one's really going to be behind those pillars, though, with the scopes actually spot him, so I just wanted to point that one out, and the bomb is now going to be able to get planted, even though it might have been able to actually get shot at there, as I mentioned, from those back pillars. Either way, there is going to be a player on the flank there. It's going to be Kriv and Lakey picking off kills. Now, Fighter has rotated back over to the dome, and he was able to take down the kill there on Lakey, but there's another player going to be contesting. He will spot him, and he will be able to get the kill. Nicely done for him, and now only Carnage is going to be left alive. So even though they were able to pick off a nice couple of kills early to get that numbers advantage, they really couldn't capitalize on that flank. And now Carnage has his work cut out for him. He's on the bomb itself, though, and he's going to be going for this defuse. This is going to be the important part, though, because will he be able to make this one a reality? No, he won't. Shocks will check that. He'll get the kill on the bomb diffuser, get the round for himself, and Mindfreak go up 1-0.
I really, really did not like Carnage's position right there. He was right on the street. Like, he wanted to keep an eye out. Like, I get that if you just wanted to see if anyone was coming. But what was the point? By the time someone saw him, they were going to instantly shoot. There was no way he was going to be able to get away. What he should have done is just got behind the bomb, got down on his gut, and then just tried to defuse it. If he was a little bit quicker, he actually had a chance of getting that one, Mike. The clutch defuse would have been huge in that one. So, still, it would have been hard 1v2, but I don't know, man.
I don't know. To be fair, the position that the bomb was planted, that Fighter actually planned that one out earlier, was that even if he was on prone, Shock still would have, with that double jump, been able to spot him quite easily. So there wasn't any position to actually hide in that position that he was from.
That's fair, but I guess... That's fair, but I mean, he would have had more of a chance, right?
It's really debatable because of that double jump and that movement, but we're already missing the action here in our round 2, and we already have the bomb planted quite easily, and just straight deflecting that one. Either way, Kriv is going to be the last one alive, and he's going to be contested by a couple of players here on that lower path. He's going to get taken down, and that's going to be the defuse. So we can go back on that point now, why that defuse is happening, but I mean, you see this A bomb site. It's over onto the trailer, so yeah, that trailer is a little bit of cover. But when you plant the bomb over onto that left side that we just saw from that defuser's position, you can be spotted as you push back through that dome. That double jump allows you to see that entire angle. So unless that bomb is planted on the other side, if it's planted on the left side, you will get spotted, regardless prone, crouch, or just standing up.
All right, you got me. I still, standing just out in the middle, I still didn't like. That's what I'm rolling with. So, look, wrapping up that last round, we saw Mindfreak take it out pretty easily. They still had 3 alive. H220, though, is going to get the quick scope there to take down Dan's. Fighter's the one putting down the plant right now over on A. There's going to be Kriv right around the corner from him. He does have backup there. Fighter's going to be running back down low there. He does have the backup of his team. All 4 members of TA are still up right now, and I'm just going to go check out H220. He's above the A truck right now, just crouched down low. Nice little position there for him. He does also have his teammate pushing down low. That's going to be Kriv being taken down. Shocks and Fighter both taking kills. H220 going to drop a player. We've got a 1v2 scenario now with Fighter, the only one left alive, under a bit of pressure here. Takes down one. That's Lakey being dropped. H220's over there. He gets the tags out. 1v1 scenario, Mike. We're just under 12 seconds left.
It was a great play there by Fighter to be able to check that one. He's getting a couple of shots in. He needs to secure that one. And I was getting nervous for a minute there, but he was able to take it down in the end. The Fighter doing an exceptional job at that. Now he was able to take not only 1 bomb diffuser, but 2 by the end of that round. He was able to pick off all the kills that he needed. And I mean, he's on a 5 streak at the moment. He's got 2 plants to his name, and he hasn't even died. That's the kind of lead that Mindfreak just make in their first match of their CGP league.
These guys are just they're just playing so well right now, Mike, that they're bringing out a poetic side of me. Here's a haiku from Mindfreak. Mindfreak are the best. They really get me worked up. Gamer sex appeal. There you go. You can continue now.
You took a little while. I'm a little bit disappointed that it didn't rhyme. You started well, but I don't think you ended well. So I think you should take that back to the drawing board and then do it again.
Look, I will. Thanks, Mike. You can come up with the poems while
No, thank you. Not my thing.
Oh, these guys bring out a different side of me. Let's get back into the action. Tens taking down H220. Carnage is the only one left alive. And as I say that, he was promptly taken out by a Fighter, who, Mike, is now on the 7-point streak here. And they're just messing around a bit. It's Dan's going to be picking up the defuse here. They're just having a bit of fun now. But that 7-point streak to Fighter is actually quite impressive.
It really is, and I want to see if Fighter can actually end throughout. 2 more rounds is all they need to be able to secure a win. I want to see if they can, 1, be able to do that, and 2, be able to not die throughout this entire round. Now, I do believe there was a Halo term for it. I believe you needed a couple more kills, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was called. But it was a cool little medal, and I want to see Fighter can earn to that standard.
The 10-point? The Frenzy?
No, staying alive for an entire game one.
Oh, the perfection. But as we say that, he was just dropped there. That was a little unfortunate for Fighter. You just saw the person just inside that room there getting the head glitch going. He was dropped there. And before you know it, you got a 2v2 situation. We saw that Kriv was in some nice positioning to get the flank on the guys, but Dan's just too quick on that trigger, able to take him down. So before you know it, Shocks and Dan's are up against Carnage, the only one left alive, and he's only going 1 for 4 right now. He could really use this right now, not only to get his team on the board, but to also get off that breadstick and that little bit of a negative KD now. If he can do it, not too sure. Mindfreak playing very dominant, as we've seen pretty much this whole series so far, with just over 40 seconds left. He needs to shut down 2 players. Shocks, though, needs to get this bomb down or take out this player, so it's all up to Carnage right now. Shocks
actually rotating nicely behind the trailers right here, and Shocks, unfortunately, wasn't able to spot him. Still, Carnage is going to be just patient in his current position. He's now going to be starting to check over areas. Now, the nade will go out. Let's see if it's going to be a geek nade, though. No tags just yet. Exo-Mute now enabled. There we go. He gets the tags in the end. Shocks, instant reflex to dash to the side. Denz will now be checking this one. The shots will go out. He's right above him. Denz will be able to take him down, and that'll be the 5th straight round to Mindfreak. 1 more round is all that's needed for them to be able to secure a map 2 victory to move on to a 2-0 lead. But let's see this round into kill cam first. There by Denz, able to get the shots instantly. Once again, the reflex time is instant, and they're able to pick up that kill that round and keep that consecutive round going. I'm a little disappointed that Fighter did die, but I mean, overall, definitely an impressive search and destroy there by Mindfreak.
It was very impressive. Den's there at the end, showing just one of the many reasons why he was picked up by this Mindfreak squad. As you said, they only need one more round to take this out in a 6-0 sweep. And that's the kind of score you want when you're going to be taking on T1 up in their next series, Mike. And, you know, Carnage, he doesn't realize it's a player just around the corner. I thought he might have been trying to get the rebound there off the A truck, but he was actually just firing over the top. And look at these shocks. No awareness as he was taken down, but Carnage didn't see Buzzo there. He's just able to take him down in return. So you got a 2v2 scenario. Dens and Buzzo up against 220 and Kriv. These guys at least want to get 1 point on the board to save face up against this Mindfreak squad. But look, Mindfreak, they are the Asia Pacific Regional Final champions, and they are that for a reason. As you mentioned in the last game, this is the CGP, Mike. This is one of the top tier competitions we have in the country, and you know, they've got their spot here. They've got it for a reason. H220 able to get this plant down on B. Hopefully he needs to watch a player right nearby. Closest to him is going to be Dens, and he does get the nade, and he got the tags on, but he's able to get away. But look at that, H220 just popping out. Dens taking his time here, just trying to play it carefully there. Rips out the scope as well. I thought we would have been seeing some crazy action right there, but it wasn't going to be. He does get the tags on the other player. That was a nice rotation to take down Kriv, and then Buzzo in return takes down 220. Too easy. We're going to see the defuse here, and Mindfreak are going to take it 6-0. They're
going to then, therefore, take this, take the lead further in the series, I guess is what I was trying to say before I got tongue-tied. Now making it 2-0, and they only need one more map to be able to secure a series victory. Now, I just got to ask, is it going to be Capture the Flag Ascend? Will that be the deciding factor here for Mindfreak? I mean, you brought it up earlier that they are our Asia Pacific regional champions here from the Call of Duty Championships. Now, obviously, this competition, our CGP League, is open to all players, regardless of their age. But they've still opened up with the start that we saw there on this previous Saturday. And I mean, Fighter 7-2, 5-2 for Dens, Shock 6-3, and 6-5 for Buzzin. They're all picking off those kills. We had Plants in favor on both Fighter and Shock's defusers for Fighter and Dens. And I mean, they just completely dominated here on that search and destroy. Now we've got Capture the Flag coming up next, though. That does seem like it will be starting up fairly soon. So we'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back soon with Map 3 in our CGP match here between True AmBiTioN AU and Plantronics.Mindfreak. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the CyberGamer Advanced Warfare ASTRO Championship Series CGP League match between True AmBiTioN and Plantronics.Mindfreak. Currently, Plantronics.Mindfreak have a 2-0 lead against True AmBiTioN. However, we've got Capture the Flag Ascend. The host is back to the team of True AmBiTioN. So we'll see if that'll be a difference. We'll see if True AmBiTioN can even take a map for themselves. I'm Myksta, joined by Inmaniac. And Inmaniac, we've seen two strong maps so far to the team of Mindfreak. Do you see True AmBiTioN making something happen?
Quite frankly, no. I mean, if they were going to try and prove something, it would have been in that last S&D. Yes, they were off host, and yes, they are from WA. But to go down 6-0 in the non-respawn and to be beaten by over 120 points in the hardpoint, going into the CTF, I don't see it going any other way. And, you know, that's not to take anything away from them. They're all great players in their own right. But Mindfreak, they're just next level, and they just dominate our region, Mike.
That they do, and we're going to see if that's going to transfer over here to this Capture the Flag. Now, we do have a couple of kills trading off early. Kriv, Hunter, and I do believe it was Fighter picked off kills there in that contest. We are going to be having one player in the circle room, though, there from the Mindfreak team, taking down two of the players, making that three of the players from the team of True AmBiTioN. Now, Dens will pick up this flag, and he's going to be running it straight through the guts of the map, charging straight through the bends. Now, his teammate's going to be watching over through the circle room, but there is going to be a player looking to contest here over onto the green containers. Now, Dens will get taken down. Buzzin will now pick up this flag, and Buzzin will be able to pick off a kill before he goes in for that capture, securing that first point on the board for them on the 60-second mark.
Yeah, and they're looking pretty strong right now. Shock's here also trying to get this relay set up. He is under a little bit of pressure, but as you can tell from that mini-map, he has great backup from his teammates. There's a player right here at the containers, and with just over a minute 20 gone, already 2-0 on the scoreboard, Mike. I think we've pretty much called this from the beginning. Mindfreak very dominant in his first two games. It looks like they're not slowing down going into the third.
And you notice the interesting strategy here, that you notice that a couple of players did drop. They were then turtling around their flag, or most of their players anyway, waiting to pick off these kills, and Shox did just that. He was able to pick off 2. Kriv, though, is able to pick off a huge double kill for himself. Now, Kriv's got the flag, and he's going to be running through the circle and completely predicts where Buzzin's going to be, able to take him down. Now, we did have Fighter, I do believe it was, who is actually going to be waiting onto that other side. I do believe he's going to be on that left angle, and he's actually going to be able to pick off that kill, get that flag return, and then just continue on his way, just picking off more kills with Shox and Dens supporting him through that one. Shox are now going to pick up this flag, and he's going to proceed to run it through into the maze here. Now, he's going to have one player there to contest over into the elevator, but it doesn't seem to matter because the only bullets they're getting into him was the friendly fire from, I do believe it was Dens. And, I mean, that should be another capping. That's going to make it 3-0. And sometimes I wonder, capture the flag doesn't have a score limit, I don't believe, but, I mean, Mindfreak are making it convincing that they could have hit it.
Yeah, look, I mean, Mike, I hate to be a downer for the TA squad, but on that last run, I just saw they had a really good opportunity to capitalize on the spawns of Mindfreak. You know, they went for a run, they went through the circle side. All of the Mindfreak players were spawning the bottom right side. It should have been set up with them. If they could just get a little bit of slaying power out of themselves to take down at least a couple of the Mindfreak players, they would have had a cap on the board, but it wasn't meant to be. And then, of course, we saw the return of Mindfreak. They were able to get that third cap. And now we're sitting at 3-0 with just over 3 minutes gone in this first half. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to come back.
That it is, but of course you can't give up hope just yet. We're still in our first half of Capture the Flag. We've still got 2 minutes remaining in said half, plus our second half still to come. And true AmBiTioN, I mean, they just need to pick off a couple more kills. They need to work on their structure, push together as a team. Don't let themselves lose those 1v1s, and especially those 1v2s and 1v3s that they're currently finding themselves in against players like Shox and Fighter and Dens and Buzzin. Because the second they lose that 1v2, that complete opening, that window on the map is thrown to the PLT MF side. And I mean, you're seeing that always constantly changing, but the gunfights are being won here by Mindfreak, and you see that clearly apparent from that 3 down. I mean, just then you see Shox dash to the side, taking down Hunter. Kriv will take down Buzzin though, but the flag is currently on a run here by Dens. He's going to be going through the underground as he's just looking to jump up here through the other skirts of the middle band, and he will be getting stuck on the wall here, but there is going to be a player looking to mate him. He's going to get taken out. Carnage picks up the flag. The flag should be returned. No, Fighter will pick this one up. Fighter gets taken down. The flag now returned. Carnage going to be going for a run. He'll get taken down, and this flag looking like it will be returned. There we go. Both flags back at base, but Shox already picking it up and going for another run himself.
Shox was going huge there, able to defend Dens and get all the way through there. It was just at that last second. Carnage shut it down. But as you can see here, insta run yet again. And Shox is getting shut down right on the flag again. And I think that flag still might be there though. And indeed it was. And they were able to they were able to get the cap there. So we're now sitting at 4-0 just in the last 20 seconds of this half. Kriv though, flag in hand, he was just dropped by Buzzo, who gets the return. Mike, that was some pretty intense action right there at the containers. Mindfreak coming up on top though, able to clear out these guys from TA and get that extra cap. But that was very even exchanges there for a moment.
It really was, and I mean, we're going to be ending up our first half with the scoreline 4-0 here in this map, but we've still got 5 minutes. Now, the sides are going to swap, and we'll see if that's going to make a big difference here between these two teams, because every map has your good side and has your bad side. Now, while most of these teams find a generalized pattern within their good and bad sides, some of them actually do prefer, that I've noticed, the opposing end. So some teams actually prefer their bad side in comparison, you know, etc., etc. So you really can't call for each specific team which side they prefer, you know, whether to be a good or a bad side. So we'll have to just see whether this team can really adapt well on this side of the map. If they can possibly get at least a point on the board, if they can just work from there. Each flag cap at a time, of course, working on their kills, working on that structure, working on that positioning, their teamwork, and then that objective work to be able to catch back up in this map and overall in the series.
Yeah, well, if they can do that is another story, though. As we just saw, they got quite outslayed in the first 30 seconds of this half, and now you're seeing Dan's gone for another run. He has back up here, up on the high stairs there. 220 was going to be shutting down Buzzo, though, but Dan's going to work with this SMG. He was eventually taken out by Lakey, and we saw Fighter trying to go for another one run, but Lakey just the man to shut down this particular flag run. He was able to pick up those few kills. He's now on a 3-point streak. As I say that, Dan's was the one to put him to sleep. Shock's now going on another run here, and as you can see in minimap, he's going straight through there under that elevator area. He was able to pick up the big sliding kill there on Carnage. It looks like he's going to be diving it in there, and he was able to pick up that cap there, getting a slight return there as well, picking up 200 points for himself, going 15 for 10 right now, before, you know, probably just having a little bit of a pause, taking in his own glory. 5-0 here with 3 minutes 50 left in the half. These guys from TA doing their best to at least get on the board. They couldn't do it last round in the S&D. Let's hope they can at least do it here in the CTF on Ascend.
Shock's put down, it seemed like he put down his controller, he was changing classes, he was doing something for a good 5 to 10 seconds. He came back, he still was then able to pick up the kill to allow his teammate to be running through the circle room and therefore through glass to then be able to get this capture. 6-0 now becomes the overall score count with 3 minutes 17 still remaining. This is our second half, and Mindfreak, I mean, I normally at this point I'd say they just need to hold out, but I really think holding out would really just doesn't represent this situation. They're in a clear lead, and they just got to stop. They just got to keep doing what they're doing. I mean, you can't really fault it at the moment. And I mean, True Ambition, it is still mathematically possible to catch back up. It's just unrealistic at this stage, because so far, I do believe, apart from one time throughout this entire map, they haven't actually been able to take a flag past that halfway point.
Yeah, it's just not happening. As we say that, Creed is going to be doing his best, but as you can see, they're shut down before he hit that halfway point. And just touching back on what you were saying about Mindfreak, sure, if they were up against a tougher opposition or if the scores were a bit closer, yeah, then you'll generally see teams basically stay on their half of the map, especially on Ascend, you know, stay back, get the defense going, and, you know, just wind out the clock. A bit over 2 minutes left. That's generally what you'd see. But considering it's now 7-0, Mike, I mean, there's no point. They might as well test their runs. They might as well keep the slaying going and just keep putting the hurt on this TA squad. You know, they are the best and they want to show it, especially in this series. You know, the CGP hasn't been going for very long, and they no doubt want to be taking out this competition as well, Mike, as the Asia Pacific Regional Final. You know, it's a glamorous event, but they want to take out the comps we see all the time. CG, you know, obviously the home of online leagues here in Australia, and, you know, they just want to show that they're the best in pretty much everything in our region, and with 7-0 on the board, they're kind of showing it.
I mean, you brought up APAC Regional Finals, and I actually just thought of something that really does seem relevant to our league. Now, this is their first CGP match of our season. Of course, they're going to be playing X5 straight after this, but one thing that I wanted to point out from APAC is that they didn't drop a map that entire LAN event. Currently, throughout this, they haven't dropped the map yet. But that's going to be a trend that they're going to be looking to continue throughout this season and throughout most events, of course, in the ANZ region. And they're obviously off to a great start already. And, I mean, I just got to give credit, though, to TA. They were able to put a cap on the board with a minute still to spare. I mean, a cap was definitely a lot better than what a lot of people were really expecting after that 7-0 lead.
One is definitely a lot better than none, let's be honest. Yeah. But when this score is 8-1, there's not really much you can say, really. They're a little bit outmatched, a little bit outgunned here. You know, Mindfreak, probably the more experienced squad. They're now on 9 as they got that cap there right at the end. Lakey was trying to keep it alive, but he was taken out by... well, he basically committed suicide there, but he was taken out by his teammate, then Fighter, then clearing it out. Last 15 seconds left in the map, Mike. Yeah, just, look, touching on this Mindfreak squad, as exactly what you said, they never dropped a map at the Asia Pacific LAN, you know, the highest level of competition that we've had so far. Now you've got the highest level here in CG. It's going to be interesting, the next series, Mike, if they'll drop a map there against T1. Obviously, they went through completely undefeated on LAN. We know that online's a different story. T1, you know, pretty dominant team in themselves, and it really, you know, this last week of practice might have made a difference, but, you know, I'm predicting Mindfreak to still look pretty strong, even online.
You got to keep in mind that, you know, other teams as well, momentum was a big factor. They were, you know, working their way to LA, then they were able to then just continue over that series. This time round, I mean, you know, it's round robin. You play each team twice throughout this 7-week period before we go into finals, and they've got still plenty of time. But they're hitting the ground running. They're using every single match as practice. And I mean, you said it, you hit the nail on the head. They're playing Exile 5 T1 up next. And it's going to be an interesting matchup. This is one of our highlighted matches throughout this first week for our first round. Of course, it's technically a first versus 8 matchup if you look at the seedings coming into this competition. Of course, the round robin period is built for seedings, but the initial matchups, you can look at it that way. XL5, who just scraped into our CGP league, to Mindfreak, who cleared out first seed by at least 20,000 points. And it's going to be an interesting matchup because it's one of our highly anticipated matches throughout the week as well. Now, currently T1 are currently playing Defying History, I do believe, in their first match of our CGP season as well. So both teams having a little bit of a doubleheader for themselves. But we'll be back soon with our next match here for our doubleheader. It is going to be Plantronics.Mindfreak taking on XL5 T1 Dotters. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned to all our social media as well to find out exactly when this match is going to start. That's on Twitter at CGXboxEU, and just follow the MLG channel because you just can. And we'll be back soon with our next match in our CGP Season 1.